Are you constantly saying sorry for things that do not require an apology? If you're a working mom like me, juggling home and your work, I'm probably talking to you. And this matters because over apologizing, it undermines your authority, your confidence, and today we're going to cover 5 practical tools to stop over apologizing at work. So if you needed to hear this, if you needed this reminder, let's dive in. Let's start off talking about why we find that we're apologizing too much. A lot of it can be cultural and societal kind of norms and conditioning, but a lot of it comes from also just feeling like guilt from trying to juggle both being a parent and having a career. And you feel like you're always maybe failing a little bit in one or the other, and so you're always apologizing for it, and it needs to stop. There's this worry or this fear about being perceived as being difficult or being too much. And it's just, that's not true. And you don't need to be sorry. You're not difficult. You're not too much. I would share an example of this as far as something small, like having to pick up your kids from school or having a sick kid at home. You don't need to be sorry because your kid is sick at home. Or maybe you're on a Zoom call and you need to have your video off for whatever reason. Maybe you haven't gotten ready yet. Maybe your eyes are strained from being on a computer all day long. You don't need to be sorry for that. So let's talk about some more things that you should not be sorry for. Having boundaries. You need to have boundaries to protect your sanity. You are doing so much. You have so many, I call it like juggling and having a lot of balls in the air, because I don't like this idea of like a work-life balance, because I don't think there is true balance, and this thought of having balance kind of sets up these false expectations that you should be achieving some kind of perfect balance and harmony, and you never get there, so you feel like you're always failing. I don't think there's perfect balance ever. What I do and what I think most of my, fellow working moms are doing, and not just working moms, working dads, or you don't even have to have kids, right? You're just juggling a lot. We have a lot of demands on us all the time. And so I call it like this work-life juggle, not a work-life balance. And my goal is just to keep juggling all the balls that I have in the air and to not let them all fall on the floor. If I can just keep them going, some might be kind of high, some might be kind of low. As long as they don't fall on the floor, I'm doing good, and I promise you're doing good also, okay? But what else should you not be apologizing for? Speaking up, having an opinion, don't be sorry for that. There is no reason you should be sorry for having an opinion, for voicing your opinion and having yourself heard. Don't be sorry for that. If you need help or need some clarification, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about that. You should not be sorry about that in the workplace. If you need some help, just ask for the help, but don't lead asking for help by saying, I'm sorry, by saying, I apologize for having to bug you. You're not bugging someone because you need some help or some clarification, whether it's from a coworker or your boss. You shouldn't feel bad about those things. There's no reason to feel bad. Can we talk about outside of working hours? Being unavailable outside of working hours is not something you should be sorry for. Your boss should not be texting you 9 o'clock at night. And if they do, they should be sorry, not you. You are not sorry for being unavailable while you're at your kid's soccer game, basketball game, recital, eating dinner with your family. If it's outside of your business hours, there is no reason that you should be sorry for not being available. That's again just you having a boundary and respecting that boundary and making sure that you have proper time for your family or for yourself, right? Don't be sorry for that. So if you find that you do say sorry in those instances, but you don't know what to say instead, let's go over that. Let's talk about what should you say instead. Instead of saying, sorry I'm late, which again, okay, maybe you shouldn't have been late, but maybe instead of saying sorry, maybe you say, thanks for your patience. Right? Another way to just not lead with you feeling bad, with you feeling guilty. Maybe instead of saying, if you need to ask, your coworker or boss something, instead of saying, sorry to bother you, what else can we say? Maybe we just say, hey, do you have a moment? Why are we leading with saying that we're sorry? We should not be sorry. Instead of saying, sorry, can I add something? No, just, I'd like to add something. Drop the sorry. If you want to add something, you want to contribute, you have value to add to the conversation, just say it. Don't leave with sorry. Where are some areas that you find that you keep saying sorry and you are leading with sorry? In instances where you have no business being sorry. We need to identify that. So how are we going to identify that? How are we going to, correct this? How are we going to break that habit, that poor habit that you have of always being sorry? Well, the first one is just to pay attention to realizing like, oh gosh, I'm saying sorry all the time. I say sorry about things a lot. So even just having that awareness and being conscious that you are continually saying that you're sorry is step number one. You're going to catch yourself a lot of times just by being aware of it and having it on your radar. Maybe you do something like keeping like a tracker. Like I love a notepad. I have notepads all over the place. Maybe you keep a tracker of when you say sorry, you're writing it down. And so you can realize, gosh, I said I was sorry 12 times today. And you're realizing maybe 10 of those you didn't actually need to be sorry for. And this can be hard in the moment, but if you can take a pause before you say something that you're going to leave with sorry, taking that pause and realizing, do I actually need to apologize for this? Or do I just need to acknowledge something that happened? Or can I just say what I want to say and not lead it with a sorry? We really need to work on this confidence mindset or the lack thereof, and to figure out why you're apologizing, why you feel this need to always apologize. You don't need to apologize for being you. You don't need to apologize for having needs. You don't need to apologize for expressing those needs. There's nothing to feel bad about in those instances. So maybe we need to work on, some affirmations, some mindset shifts, and really developing our professional confidence. And then also make sure you're surrounding yourself with other, assertive, encouraging women who are not sorry. Making sure you're following people, if it's on social or online, that are showing up as themselves and being themselves and not being sorry for it. Okay, we need to work on that, and a lot of times that can be a hard thing to work through. So I think if we just take a step back and look at the awareness of it and start realizing that we are leading with the sorries, can be a big first step and help you make those changes. And then also, if you have kids, you don't want to teach them that they should be sorry and leading with sorry. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times when our kids, or even we, should be sorry. And I'm not saying that there aren't appropriate times to be sorry. If you did something wrong, right, there are instances where a sorry is appropriate. It's not to say that you should never be sorry. The point of today's conversation is that there are too many times that you are saying sorry, especially at work and in a professional environment, when you should not be saying sorry. You should not be feeling sorry. You should not feel the need to apologize to people at work. That's what we're focused on. The focus is not to say never be sorry. Because myself included, there are plenty of times that I need to be sorry for something that I did. And I actually mean it, and that sorry was, deserved to the other person. But there's too many times where you're saying sorry and you don't need to be. So what are we going to do? How are we going to make some changes? Well, we've gone over some tips already. We're going to stop apologizing so much when it's not appropriate for us to apologize. So I would love to kind of hear, what are some things, or what's one thing that you've realized that you say sorry for a lot and that you're going to work on not saying sorry for? I would love for you to share. So I hope this helped. I hope this helps you to kind of continue on your week and focus on not saying sorry, not being sorry when it's not appropriate, and to really empower you in your, professional work environment to take the lead and to not do so with apology. You don't need to feel bad for that. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.